Hi, good morning. I am Wani Rafika with metric number 153916 and my partner Raina Camilla, metric number 153609, both from Speech Pathology Program as the presenters today. The content of this presentation is according to the question received, which explained that TK, a 6-year-old boy who was reported by his preschool teacher that he has speech problems considering that he could not pronounce words properly. Hence, he was assessed by a speech-language therapist. Therefore, based on the list of the words of TK's speech transcription in an assessment conducted by the speech-language therapist, me and Raina will first present the phonological process that TK has. Firstly, the phonological process for words number 1, 3, 6, 7, and 8 are considered as stopping. Stopping occurs when there is a substitution of fricative sounds or affricate sounds for a stop sound specifically or stop sounds. According to the list of the speech transcription, TK pronounced thumb as thumb and tree as tree, C as tea, fan as pen, and fish as fish.
Next phonological process is stopping and glottal stop substitution. Stopping, as mentioned by Rafika, is the substitution of fricative or affricate sounds for a stop sound, while glottal stop substitution occurs when a consonant is replaced by a glottal stop. As we can see, from the word that TK produced, the word fat is mispronounced as pat. He substituted the initial P with P, which considered as stopping, and replaced T with glottal stop. For the next word is sock. He pronounced it as stock. TK substituted the word S, become T, and replaced K with glottal stop. The third word is soap. TK pronounced it as top. He substituted S with T and replaced P with the glottal stop. Move on to other phonological process that TK had is glottalization substitution, which occur when a complete partial closure of the glottis during the articulation of another sound. Example of word that TK pronounced is coat. He mispronounced the coat and become coat. The second word is not, become not.
The next question is about the discussion on the previous phonological process mentioned before, according to dialectal and disordered phonological features. Firstly, phonological process like stopping that mentioned before showed that a problem in vocalizing voices of viola and dental fricative, which is S and T respectively, and thus it is considered a disordered phonological feature in which a person may have initial alveolar stop substitution. For example, when pronouncing the word sun, it becomes tan, or ting become ting. This is due to the problem which they have difficulty to place the tip of the tongue on or near the alveolar ridge for S sound, and find it hard to place the tongue against the upper front teeth while resting it on lower front teeth for T sound. Therefore, as the result, there is no air forced to escape through the mouth. Neither friction was produced, considering that the pronunciation of S and T is substituted by an alveolar stop T, which the production of the stop consonant substitution has a complete blockage of air to escape. In this case, TK substituted the initial alveolar and dental fricative sound of the word like sea, tongue, and tree, because fricative sound is rather hard to produce. Hence, he pronounced it as T, thumb, and tree. Instead, because it considered as the easier pronunciation for him, since he has problem using the correct placement of articulation of T and S. In fact, children mostly will spontaneously substitute the initial T with T. Depends on their response during that time, considering that it includes longer time of dental contact with the tongue to produce T. As for alveolar affricative sound, which is S, portray a similar placement of articulation of the substitution of alveolar stop. The substitution of alveolar stop sounds here allow TK to pronounce it by blocking the air stream to escape through the mouth. On the other hand, we also notice stopping in which problem in pronouncing voiceless labiodental fricative sound, which is F. It is also considered as disordered phonological feature in which involve initial bilabial stop substitution. For example, the word like thoughts is pronounced as thoughts. This is influenced by the difficulty to make the lower lip and upper teeth to be in contact to produce F sound, and to allow air escapes by weak friction through the mouth. Hence, bilabial sound is produced instead, since it simply makes both upper and lower lip touch together, in which way more easier. In this case, TK substitute the initial labiodental fricative sound of the word like fan and fish with the same reason as fricative sound is one of the most burdensome sounds to produce. Therefore, he pronounced it as pen and fish instead, considering that it was way more easier for him since he has problem using the correct placement of articulation of F. In fact, there was no air escapes since bilabial stop sound, which is P, will block the air stream.
Next, the disordered non-developmental phonological process is the glottal stop substitution. It occurs when a consonant is substituted with a sound produced in the back of the throat. Glottal stop is known as the unintelligible speech in childhood and often by the use of unusual or deviant phonological process. The non-developmental phonological process also can be a functional speech sound disorder. These are the words that TK pronounced as glottal stop substitution. For example, fat become pat, sock become top, soap become tope, coat become coat, and lastly not become not. All the last syllable of the word was substituted with the glottal stop. Lastly, the dialectal that is found in TK's word is monophthongization. A monophthong is where there is one vowel sound in syllable. The sound change by which a diphthong becomes a monophthong and occur when the reduction of a diphthong to a long vowel. There is 12 pure vowels or monophthong in English, which are E, I, U, U, I, or, A, U, A, and O. For the example of words that TK produce is coat become coat and soap become tope. It is known as the short non-gliding vowel sound. I think that's all from us, and this is the list of the references that we use. Thank you.